Welcome back to Naas, and on the other hand, Deon. Hello, Deon. Naas, how was your weekend?
Very well, thanks. And yours?
Fine, but we must apologize. We're a little bit late, and the only reason why we're late is I was a guest at the Gary and Vivian player golf at Sun City, his 90th birthday. I was extremely fortunate to actually wish him very well on his birthday, and it was absolutely amazing. You know, a guy of 90, the way he walks, the way he talks, I wouldn't mind deal if I look like that and if I can act like that when I'm 90. I think he's a great example. But before you say anything, you know what amazes me? And I've actually told him, if we talk rugby, okay, that's our field. We talk about heroes like Frick de Preer. Later on, you had Davie Snyman. And then you go, and then you had the 81 guys, Stefan Sapfontaine, Rob Lowe, Deon Stolfer, Burger Kellner, you keep going. But you talk rugby. Cricket guys, they will talk about Hansie Cronje, Alan Donald, Sean Bullock. Tennis guys will talk about Johan Creek. If you talk about any sport, it's normally in that sport field, isn't it? But if you talk of golf, you talk about Bobby Locke, Ernie Elster, Defoes, and then you get to Gary Play. But what's amazing for me is Gary Player's name come up in any sport. And I think that's quite an achievement. I think that just shows you that Mr. Player is a proper ambassador for golf, but also for South Africa. I still believe he is the greatest South African sportsman, in my view. But it's just amazing how his name will always pop up. Doesn't matter which sport you're talking about.
I think he's left a legacy and definitely one of the best sportsmen that we've had in this country. And I believe it was once again a great spectacle there at Satsui. And like you mentioned, his 90th birthday, for him to be in that good shape is quite something to look up to.
Yeah. We were only 500 guests for the dinner on Saturday night. Only 500, okay? But it just shows you, and it's not South Africans. It's from all over the world. And, I must say, Sun City, last year it was a little bit, not really the quality. This year was absolutely magnificent. So it looks like it is going to become the resort in Africa again. And I was really glad to see that. And it was just nice to be there, and so many sports celebrities, Sean Pollock, I saw Brian Mitchell, Herschel Gibbs, the guys were there. And it's just nice because I was fortunate to play with Jaco Prinsloo, the bro. What a golfer. I'm telling you, I've seen some good pros in my life. But, and he said he struggled a little bit in Europe, but he's going to try and get back. But I just couldn't believe a guy can hit the ball like that. It's like the one shot he hit. And I said, what did you hit? It was 3 wood. He said, no, 7 wood. I'm not okay. I don't even go that far on vacation, but still, it was absolutely amazing. But okay, that's Sun City, and I must say I was extremely fortunate. But let's get to rugby. Okay, the box. Okay, I don't think Eddie Jones and Japan expected that one.
No, definitely not that scoreline, especially in the rain. I think if it was a dry day, we could have seen 100. And Japan was terrible under the high ball.
Yeah, they were.
I think the box exposed them there, and even with the wet conditions, the box made it look like it was dry.
Yeah.
But that's also something I would have expected. Eddie would have worked that out, knowing it's going to come, and they were just not prepared at all.
But did you see the number of handling errors? I was extremely surprised to see that. It's difficult, wet conditions, ball a little bit slippery, but it looked like it was the first time ever Japan played in wet weather. I just couldn't believe it, and we were really sort of comfortable, if I could put it that way. But I must say, Deon, again, and somebody did make a remark on when we say, okay, say something about what we're talking about. And I must say, I think Sasha let the team really settle down very quickly. Of course, he scored two very good tries. And I think that just shows you, of course, the statement the guy made was the number 10 is still important in rugby. Now, in the old days, it was really 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, really. Okay. And then, with new coaches, inside center started playing a major role. Fullbacks, because he can actually play fly off on the one side, fly off play on the other side. So it changed a little bit. We saw Peter Steff actually playing scrum off at some stages, but you can't just discard the number 10 running the show.
No, for sure. And if you come to think about it, I think that's the Sharks' problem at this stage as well. They've got all these quality Springbok players, but there's not a team that's cemented his place and actually beating that team. I mean, they've got Grant at 9, but the 10 is changing every weekend at the Sharks as well. Then it's Masuku, then it's Hendrikse, then it's John Smith. So there's no 10 at the Sharks at the moment really taking control of that position and leading that team. But getting back to the box, I think it was good preparation for them for France.
Yeah.
Especially going into the game with a game in hand or already played. That could be the difference next weekend, because France is also struggling with a couple of major injuries that's definitely going to influence them. And that will probably change the whole dynamics of their game.
Okay, now out of what you've just said, I'm coming with another question. Okay. And it's more at a point of debate, not really a question. I believe that if Japan and some of the other second tier, and they're not really second tier, but yeah, let's call them second tier, play on a more regular basis against the top tier, that's All Blacks, England, South Africa, France. Do you think in the long run it will be better for their game? Will we see better results than a 61-7 in future if it happens on a more regular basis?
No, for sure. And I think he touched on it a couple of weeks ago, that those nations need to start playing bigger test matches on a more regular basis. And you're definitely going to see different results if they get to that point, playing more recognized teams in the international circuit. But I think we touched on it as well, that Japan from 2019, they just didn't kick on. Yeah, they had a brilliant World Cup at home, and you would have thought that would have lightened them up and make them better. But unfortunately, there's a decline. And now you can go, once again, we've spoken about it, and it happened in France as well. It happened in Italy in your time. Is there too many foreign-based players in key positions?
Yeah.
There is a cap of only 5 or 6 internationals, but go and look at what position they're playing. And that is a downfall to them, and it's always going to be like that if you don't change that.
Okay, the other thing that I did pick up, and that was quite disappointing, the crowd, South Africa, Japan. Now, I was just wondering if that game was played in Japan, I think it would have been a sellout, to be honest. I know it's a money game. We all know that. We don't need to hide it, okay? But it was quite disappointing to see such a small crowd watching that game.
I think the fact that England and Australia also played at Twickenham could have had an influence, because some of those spectators would have maybe go and watch that game. But I think Wembley was also too big stadium to really fill it up for a Japan game. If it was the All Blacks or someone else, I believed we would have seen a full stadium.
Yeah.
but I just don't think Japan could have drawn the numbers there.
Okay. Now, the next guy. Okay. A lot's been said about this one. Another red card, another 15 against 14 for a while, and All Blacks beating Ireland in Chicago. Okay. Uh, not, uh, between the dinners and all this, I was fortunate. I missed the first 15 minutes, but then I watched the rest. Okay. But it wasn't the greatest game. And I'm going to make a statement. Okay. And I want you to respond on the statement. New Zealand looks a lot better. But, and I don't know why I'm saying this, I am not convinced Bowden Barrett is the flyer he was a number of years ago. It was like he's a, let's say, extra hands on the ball, just passing the ball outside, whatever. I never felt that he actually controlled the game, as we just spoke about. Number 10 should control the game. It's like he needs more space, and the space is actually at fullback. I don't know what you think about his play at number 10, but I wasn't totally convinced, and I still think that's New Zealand's problem. I still believe they need a serious number 10.
Yeah, and that's going to haunt them, and it's been haunting them for 2 years now. And I think Richie Mo'unga coming back next year, but he's only eligible for October.
Yeah.
So he's missing the whole South African tour. And if I was New Zealand Rugby, I would have got him out of that contract sooner and bring him with, because he is going to be the number one flav at the World Cup. Because Damien and Bowden, they've had their chance now to cement their place, but they haven't. And you'll see a different team with Mo'unga running the show there, especially with Roygaard, that's been playing very well. And I think with Roygaard and Mo'unga together, you'll see a different team.
But do you think it's because they moved him around too often?
Yeah, that could be one of the biggest concerns, because they were never sure, is he the best flav, is he the best fullback?
Yeah.
There's no doubt he's got the quality, because he's shown it for more than 10 years now. But it just doesn't feel like he's the same Bowden Barrett that we've known since the beginning.
Absolutely.
And his goal kicking has declined since the start of his career, which he's got.
Stop there, because you do a lot of coaching, the kicking coaching. Why is Geordie Barrett not kicking? Because I just think he's a better striker off the ball than Bowden.
No, for sure, especially if he's starting. I mean, give it to your brother and let him kick, because he does kick the ball much better than you.
Yeah.
And even with the line kicks, Geordie kicks the ball 30, 40 meters further than his brother. So why they don't opt for that option, I'm not sure, but they should do it.
Okay. So I'm not out of line to say that. Okay. But overall, I think the red card spoiled it a little bit. I think maybe with common sense, it should have stayed maybe a yellow, maybe just a penalty. Because I didn't feel that it was absolutely intentional to make that physical contact and try and get somebody off the park. I never got that feeling. And when I get that feeling, I always say, penalty is fine. Let's just move on. They wasted a lot of time. First off, 53 minutes. Come on, you don't need to sit on something like that for minutes. You can see clearly. The other thing is what I also picked up, and I want your response also on this one. It looks that referees are running around the park with somebody talking in their ear the whole time. And I don't think it's absolutely fair to the referee. I'm not going to blame the officials in this case. I'm not going to. But I think there needs to be a clear picture who runs the show. And according to me, there's only one guy running the show. It's the referee, not the assistant referees. They're there to assist. The TMO is there to show or look for foul play or dangerous play? Why can't we just keep it at that instead of getting absolutely involved in everything in the 80 minutes?
And the thing is, let's say all four of them has a say. Each one of them is going to have a different opinion.
Absolutely.
So now they may be speaking about what happened, etc., but they're not really getting to a point, and I think that's what's wasting time. Because you seeing something different, I interpret something different, and that's where they should just give the match day referee much more lenience to make certain decisions. Because, like you said, now it's the AR that's in his ear all the time.
Yeah.
But I think they're starting to get confused about what's happening in his ear, and he's missing of what is actually happening on the field. And that could have a massive influence, I think, because it's also something that they're not used to. So if the ARs and the touch judges comes into play, like in the old days or a couple of years ago, fair enough. But having someone in your ear all the time, maybe thinking, am I missing something? You starting to create doubt within yourself, blowing the game. And I think that's why certain refs misses a lot of things these days.
So you agree? We sort of playing policeman lately instead of refereeing,
Yes, and we're wasting time.
and we're wasting time. That's the big thing. We're wasting time. Okay. Did we see the real colors of Australia losing 25-7?
Yeah, once again, Tom Wright, Dylan Peach, Iki Tau, Will Skelton, all those players not available.
No, they're not available.
And we spoke about it, I think 2 weekends ago, that they unfortunately are on a decline again.
Yeah.
They started off the year very well, but it's just that long season coming in now, and the squad depth is just not there. England didn't look bad. They
They actually look good, eh?
yeah, and they were much better under the eyeballs.
Yeah.
I think they scored 2 great tries from contestable kicks that they regathered, where Australia didn't even jump in the air for the ball. But yeah, England, couple of changes there, some new guys. I'd like to see them against the All Blacks
Yeah.
to really see what they're offering at this stage. But yeah, unfortunately, not a great performance from Australia. But I would still feel if they had those players available, it would have been a different game.
Okay, so it's more the players not available than really the quality of play.
Yeah. And once again, the 9 and 10, Jake Gordon, Tate Edmed, 2 new guys again. McDermott was injured. Nick White obviously retired. Lineup played. O'Connor played. So they haven't settled with a 9 and 10 combination. And that is their downfall at this stage as well.
Yeah.
I think Australia's got a good pack. They've got great loose forwards. Fully fit backline, amazing. But 9 and 10 is where the question marks.
Okay, so hopefully next week we see a different Australian side. But it's also difficult there because the guys played on the weekend club rugby in France, and now you've got what? You've got today, tomorrow, Wednesday, really. Then you need to trade off for the weekend. So it's not a lot of time to actually prepare. So international rugby is not that easy. I think a lot of people think it's easy, but it's not, because sometimes you have a week to prepare. That's the end of it.
And I think that's where the Boxers has gotten it right over the past couple of years. They've created the squad depth. So if someone's not available, the next guy slotting in is at the same level as the guy that's coming out. And where in Australia, it's not the case. The guy coming in is not on the same level as their first choice player.
Okay, shock of the weekend. Scotland 85, America 0. I didn't expect that. I know Scotland, when they get it going, we all know that, especially at home, then they're a difficult side. But do you really want to tell me there's no talent in America at the moment?
Oh, that's bad. I think it's a reflection of what's happened to the Major League Rugby as well.
So you're talking more structures. You're not talking talent.
No,
We say it's more the structures that's not really helping the USA Eagles to become not a powerhouse, but at least extremely competitive.
No, for sure. And it's hindering them at the moment. They're going to have a serious look at their structures, especially with the upcoming World Cup in 2031. Because you want the home nation to be competitive, be a force. But it's like we spoke about Japan just now. USA at this stage, I mean, they played in the 23 World Cup already. So you would have expected them to be
Built
at a much higher level
yeah.
because they've got the athletes, they've got the talent, but obviously their downfall is at junior level as well. The people or players starts playing rugby at 6
And the lice age. Yeah.
and that age gap is where they're behind. But yeah, you can't afford to lose all those professional major teams. I mean, you're losing players. Then again, I mean, half of them was on semi-professional contracts. So you get a guy just ending up be playing. He doesn't even play anymore.
Yeah.
He goes back to work because you're just getting that mold negative. You're not going to get game time. There's nothing to play for. But it's unfortunate to see that they've lost so many professional teams in the last 3 years.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's enough for this week, in the sense that rugby was. I'm glad the LA Dodgers won the World Series. I'm a great baseball fan. Okay, next week, Ireland, Japan.
Yeah, Ireland won't play their best team because they'll want to rest them up for the box. But okay, you'll see Ireland winning that by 20 to 40 again. I can't see Japan doing anything on this interview tour.
Scotland, New Zealand.
New Zealand will definitely win that game, but it's going to be tougher than previous years. But I think the Ireland win is going to give New Zealand confidence to maybe even win this Grand Slam of theirs. Because I think it was a bit personal as well. So confidence-wise, I think that win meant a lot to the All Blacks.
Okay, just a quick one on that. Do you think Ireland would have been a different side playing in Ireland instead of in the USA? It's nice to take the game, but I saw a lot of remarks from people that went to the game, and they said absolutely not a spectacular, not the greatest game. We've spoken about why not. Do you think Ireland sort of missed out, maybe not playing at home?
No, it would have been a massive difference to them. We know that they're a quality team. Yeah, if you play on neutral grounds,
It's different.
yeah, and it's a 50-50 game being. Except if the Boks play in London, because that's their second home, it seems now.
Yeah. Okay, England, Fiji.
No, Fiji won't be there. Comfortable win for England.
Okay. Then Italy, Australia. That can be a little bit of a tricky one for Australia, especially what we've seen after the weekend. But it depends who they really get back in the team from players playing in France. Okay, then the big one, France, South Africa.
You know, it's going to be interesting. I'd like to see both teams first to make any calls.
Oh, okay.
Because of France's injury list and its key players, it's Dupont, Ramos, Yamane. It's really key players that's out, and I think they lost another prop this morning as well. That could influence them. I think with the Boks having played this past weekend, it'll be advantage to them.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully we can knock them on the noses again.
Okay, so let's hope so. Okay, finishing up Flumtree, finishing up at the Sharks. I see Jake White did mention, and we spoke about it. When teams don't really perform, is it always the coach, or somewhere along the line, players also need to start taking a little bit of responsibility sometimes?
Yeah, and it's easy to blame one guy in a team environment. I think the players has just got as big a responsibility as the coaching staff. But if you don't have that backing from the players, it could backfire on you. But the fact that players needs to take more responsibility, and the media also plays a massive role, because it's the easiest thing to do is to blame the coach, or the coach isn't performing, or why isn't the team performing? And it's always the coach. And I think it's unfair towards coaches.
Yeah.
And I think Jake touched on it, being in the South African system, that it's a downfall to coaches. And I don't think any coach in the world wants to coach with fear, knowing that he'll maybe lose his job or whatever. But yeah, they need to sort out that culture thing that's going on there, because obviously a lot of parties is not happy,
Yeah.
and that's something that they need to fix as a union.
Yeah. Okay, that's us this week. If there's anything you want to add, you're more than welcome. You can. I see somebody that asked Deon, are we going to get guests in the future, whatever. Our attitude is let's just lay a nice foundation first. Let's settle, and I think that's what we're doing at the moment, talking rugby really. And as time goes, who knows? We might even have a president one day talking on the show.